Is the screen visible? Can you see the screen? Okay, I'll start now. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good evening. So, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all to the introductory session of the Python Masterclass program. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. So, I'm Prabhashini Maheshika, and I'm currently working as a software engineer in Python in Bloomsoft Private Limited. So, I will be conducting this program throughout the coming weeks. So, first of all, as I have worked with Python, I can say that it's one of the best programming languages to learn, and especially for beginners. So if there's anyone who have not learned Python or any programming language before, there's no need to worry. It's very easy to follow up. So we will start from what is Python. Like we will be covering some topics in today's session, but we will not teach any theory related things today. Just what is Python, so why you need to learn Python, and what are the applications and what are the career opportunities out there you can find by using and learning Python, and the installation process and the IDs you have to learn. All about things we will be discussing today. So feel free to ask any question if you have any doubt or anything you need to ask. If you need to talk here, please raise your hand. Then I will ask you to talk, and you can ask any question. If not, you can just put a message in the chat box, and I can answer whatever the questions or queries you have. So අපි මේකෙදි cover කරන්නේ මුලින්ම කියනවා programming language එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එකෙන් පටන් ගමු. ඒක ලේසියිනේ හැමෝටම. මම language දෙකෙන්ම මුලින් කරන්නම්. අර එතකොට හැමෝටම ලේසි හින්දා මුලින් කරලා අමාරු දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඕගලන්ට මොකක් හරි වෙන්න ඕනේ දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් ස්පීඩ් එක වැඩි නම් හරි මම කතා කරන විදිහ අවුලක් වගේ තියෙනවා නම් ඕන දෙයක් කමන්නේ chat එකට දාන්න. ඔයාලට අහන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් Python language එක සම්බන්ධව issue එකක් තියෙනවා නම් මොන හරි ඒත් අහන්න. එතකොට මම කියාගෙන යන දේවල් doubts මොනවා හරි තියෙනවා නම් ඔය installation process එක තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් අද කියන්නේ. අද මුලින්ම කතා කරන්නේ programming language එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Python කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ඇයි Python ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ? එතකොට දැන් මොනවාද use වෙන applications මොනවාද Python language එකෙන්? එතකොට ඔයාලට Python එක advanced level එකට ඉගෙන ගත්තට පස්සේ career opportunities ඒවා මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියන එක ගැන basic idea එකක් අපි අද දෙනවා. අද හැබැයි අද අපි උගන්වන්න පටන් ගන්නේ නැහැ. theory session එකක් නෙමෙයි අද යන්නේ. අපි අද කරන්නේ නිකන් understand එකක් දෙන එක ඕගලන්ට මොකද්ද Python කියන්නේ? ඇයි ඕනේ? කොහොමද කරන්නේ? install කරගන්න ඕන මොනවාද? ID එක මොනවාද? ওই ටික තමයි අද අපි කතා කරන්නේ. එතකොට දැන් දිගටම කරගෙන යමු මෙහෙම. issue එකක් තියෙනවා නම් chat එකට දාන්න, නැත්නම් raise hand කරන්න. මම එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට කියන්නම්, එතකොට කතා කරන්න. එතකොට හරි අර එකපාරට කතා කරලා මම අනිත් අයට disturb වෙන හින්දා මේ විදිහට කිව්වේ raise hand කරන්න කියලා. ඒක. එතකොට මුලින්ම මම language එක change කරන්න. So first of all, I'd like to tell you about the class course schedule and the recording. So class days will be what we have planned is that the class days will be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 7 to 8:30, most probably up to 8:30. But if there's any issue while working in the codes and we have to hand-on experience on coding. So if that takes most of the time, our class time will be go up to 9 p.m. So 7 to 9, most probably 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30. And all the sessions will be recorded and shared with you in the WhatsApp group. So even though we share the recordings with you, it is good that if you can join in the live session so that you can ask any questions or doubts you have within the class time. So that would be better. And if there's any issue you are facing while working with Python, you can just put your concerns in the WhatsApp group as well. There's a WhatsApp group now. So you can just put your concerns there as well. I will reply once I'm free. So there's no issue. So අපේ time එක යන්නේ සඳුදා අඟහරුවාදා බදාදා අපි ප්ලෑන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ ওই දවස් 3. අපි එක දිගට දවස් 3ක් කරන එක හොඳයි. අර දවසක් කර දවසක් නැත්නම් සතියට දවස් 2ක් වගේ යනකොට චුට්ටක් ඔක බෝරින් නේ. අර එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ කෝඩ් කරන්න අර එක දිගට යනකොට තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් ඕක අස හිතෙන්නේ කරන්න. ඒ හින්දා අපි එහෙම කරමු. දවස්වල ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනවා නම් හරි ටයිම් එකට ඔයගලන්ට ජොයින් වෙන්න බැරි ඉෂුව එකක් ආවොත් අපි රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් දෙනවා. ඒක බය වෙන්න එපා. හැබැයි රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් දෙනවා කියලා ඉතින් අර ඒකම ගන්නවට වඩා හොඳයි ක්ලාස් එක තියෙන වෙලාවට ජොයින් වෙනවා නම්. එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට අර ප්‍රශ්න මොනවා හරි තියෙනවා නම් ඒ එරර් එකක් මොනවා හරි එනවා නම් ඒ වෙලේ අහන්න පුළුවන් ඇයි මේක මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ කියන එක බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අර එහෙම හින්දා ඒ වෙලාව තියෙනවා. තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගලන්ට මේකේ දාන්න බැයි නම් Teams දාන්න බැරි නම් ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් WhatsApp group එකේ දාන්න මම ෆ්‍රී වෙලාවට බලලා ඒකට reply කරන්න. එහෙම ඉෂුව එකක් නැහැ. Any questions so far? Like I'll be starting with the first topic. So before that, any question? Okay. Then I'll be starting with the first topic. Our first topic is what is a programming language? So before starting with this one, is there anyone who have worked with Python or any other programming languages before? I think most of your from universities, right? So you have worked with programming languages. So I'd like to get an answer from you. Anyone? Either you can raise your hand and talk, or you can put your answers in the chat box. Like, what is a programming language? Let's start with the basics. What do you think a programming language is? Okay. Programming language, it is a set of instructions and rules. So like a simple way to communicate with a computer. In basically, programming language is a simple way to communicate with a computer. Just like we people use English or Sinhala to talk with each other, computers understand their own set of instructions. So with programming, we give those instructions to computers to make them do what we want. So that computers can do whatever the things we need them to do. So you can think of it like writing a recipe for a dish. Like you can offer for dishes, and if you follow those steps right, you can get a delicious meal. Like in our case, a working software or a web application. So this allows the developer to write code that computer can understand and execute to perform specific tasks. In basically, that is what I said. So what is Python? So our course is all about Python. So let's talk. What is Python? Python කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? So Python is a high-level general-purpose programming language, and it is real known for simplicity and the readability. Python is also known as one of the best languages that a beginner can start learning. So the creator of the Python language is Guido van Rossum, and in 1991, the history is not actually important when you are learning Python. Just let's go with the theories, but for your information, I'm just jotting this down. So Python is very easy to learn, and the syntax are very easy, the rules are very easy, and there's large community support. That means that if there's any error, like I'm talking about the time we got ChatGPT, okay? So before ChatGPT, people tend to get help from the community, like there was Stack Overflow. People could put their questions or whatever the concerns or queries they had in Stack Overflow, and other people who followed the same technology or followed the same programming language, they answer that. They can help each other, and there's a very large community support for Python. Even in GitHub, you can see that the large community support. And also Python is really versatile. Like there are many areas that we can use Python, and especially used in web development, AI, and automations. In mostly in data science and AI, we use Python, and it is very beginner friendly because Python is very easy to read and understand, and also to write, because Python is almost like English. Even someone who has no idea about what this programming language, they can just read the code and get a simple idea about what is this code about. They can just tell that by reading a code. That is why we are saying that Python is very beginner friendly and very easy to read and write. So as I mentioned before, why we used to learn Python as beginners is the simple syntax, and they are very similar to English. And in the present, it is used very widely in the industry, like companies like Google, Netflix, and also NASA, they are using Python. And the strong job market, like there are so many job opportunities for Python developers and software engineers who used to code in Python, using Python, and in areas like data science and data analytics, like there are very wide job market is there with higher salaries. And also huge ecosystem of libraries means Python, there are various tools that are ready-made for AI development and also to data science, web development, etc. as I mentioned before. So අපි Python ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ කියන එක ලේසිම දේ තමයි මේ ප්‍රධානම හේතුව තමයි අර මම කිව්ව විදිහට Python කියන්නේ හරිම ලේසි ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක්. ඔයාලා කියවන්න ලේසි කෝඩ් එකක්, ලියන්න ලේසි කෝඩ් එකක්. ලොකු අමාරු සින්ටැක්ස් නැහැ අනිත් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් ලැන්ග්වේජ් වලට සාපේක්ෂව බලනකොට. හැමතිස්සෙම අපි සාපේක්ෂවනේ බලන්නේ. එතකොට අනිත් අයට වඩා Python කියන එක ලේසි. අලුතෙන් කෝඩින් ඉගෙන ගන්න කෙනෙක්ට අර ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් වල තියෙන කන්සෙප්ට්ස් ඉගෙන ගන්න හොඳම ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක් තමයි Python කියන්නේ. එතකොට දැන් වෙනකොට මේ 2025 වෙනකොට වැඩිම ඩිමාන්ඩ් එකක් තියෙන ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් ලැන්ග්වේජ් වල තුන් දෙනා අතරේ Python කියන කෙනා ඉන්නවා. එතකොට ලංකාවේ හරි පිටරටක හරි වැඩිම සැලරිස් එන ජොබ් එකක් විදිහට ඔයාලට software දැන් මෙහෙමයි software engineers කිව්වහම software engineer කෙනෙක් එක side එකේ ඉන්නවා. සමහර ඉන්නවා Java development විතරයි. සමහර ඉන්නවා front end විතරයි, back end විතරයි. එතකොට Python වල තියෙනවා AI development. එහෙම එක sides තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සාමාන්‍ය වැඩිම payment එකක් යන්නේ වැඩිම salary එකක් යන්නේ Python සම්බන්ධව වැඩ කරන අයට. එහෙම කියලා තියෙනවා. top 3 jobs අතරේ වැඩිම salary එකක් තියෙන එහෙම අවුරුද්දක් ඇතුළත වැඩිම payment එකක් ගන්න අය අතරේ ඉගෙන ගන්න language එකක් විදිහට Python තියෙනවා. එතකොට job market එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ හින්දා තමයි අපි ගොඩක්ම කියන්නේ මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න කියලා. එතකොට huge ecosystem of libraries කියන්නේ දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අපි scratch එකේ ඉඳන් program එකක් හදනවට වඩා මම වෙන language එක නම කියන්නේ වෙන language එකක් කරනකොට scratch එකේ ඉඳන් අපි build කරනවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ model එකක්. එහෙම model එකක් හදන්නේ නැතුව use කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා ගොඩක් තියෙනවා Python වල. ready made tools තියෙනවා අපිට AI වලට ඕන large language model එක වැඩ කරපු කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවනම් Python එක වැඩ කරපු කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවනම් ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා අපිට කෙලින්ම අර use කරන්න පුළුවන් එකපාරින් ගන්න පුළුවන් කාලය ඉතුරු කර ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට data science වල data analytics පැත්තට ගොඩක්ම use වෙන්නේ කියන්නේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම වගේ use වෙන්නේ Python. React වලින් කරන web system එකක් වුණත් website එකක් හරි මොකක් හරි application එකක් වුණත් ඒකෙදි අපි use කරනවා Python back end එක develop කරන්න. අපිට ඕන එකක් පුළුවන් ඕන language එකක් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අර feasibility flexibility side එක බලනකොට අපි යන්නේ Python related frameworks. අනිත් programming language වල වගේමයි Python වලත් frameworks තියෙනවා. Django කියලා තියෙනවා, Flask කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ ඒවා Python වල තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ දේවල් advanced Python වලට අපිට ඉගෙනගෙන යනකොට මෙහෙම දේවල් ගැන idea එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. web development වලට අපි Java, React.js, Next.js ඕවාගෙන් කරන ඒවාම Next.js වගේ ඒවාගෙන් කරන ඒවාම Python වලත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ නිකම් basics Python නෙමෙයි basics විතරක් ඉගෙනගෙන බෑ. එතකොට අපිට ඉගෙන ගන්න frameworks ගැන දැනගන්න ඕනේ. මොනවාද තියෙන tool කියලා දැනගන්න ඕනේ. extension use වෙන්නේ මොනවාද කියලා දැනගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේ දේවල් දැනගත්තාම තමයි අපිට අර මුල ඉඳන් දැනගන්න එක ලේසිනේ. scratch එකේ ඉඳන්ම කරන කෙනාට idea එකක් තියෙනවා. කොහොමද technology එක use වෙන්නේ? ඇයි මෙහෙම error එකක් එන්නේ? අර ඔහොම idea එකක් යනකොට ඔයාලට industry එකට යන්න ලේසි. job market එකේ ඔයාලට අනිත් අයත් එක්ක තරඟ කරන්න ලේසි. ඒ හින්දා තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් Python කරන කෙනෙක් ඒ පැත්තෙන්ම දිගටම යන්න try කරන්නේ. ඔයාලට යන්න පුළුවන් areas වැඩි. ඒ කියන්නේ එක job එක try කරනකොට හරි ඔයාලට මේක සෙට් නැත්තම් ඔයාලට ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Python වලින්ම යන්න පුළුවන් තව areas තියෙනවා. ඕන තරම් තියෙනවා. back end එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. data science පැත්තට යන්න පුළුවන්. data analytics පැත්තට යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ පැත්තට අදාළ කොටස ඉගෙන ගන්නයි ඕනේ. තමන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යුනිවර්සිටි ළමෙක් නම් අපි කියන්නේ self studies කරන්න. ඒතර Python වල self studies කියන්නේ ගොඩක් ලොකු උදව්වක්. දැන් මේ course එක උනත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන ගමන් projects ගන්න පටන් ගන්න මුලින්ද. මොකුත් තේරුම් නැතුවට කමන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාලා වැඩේ කරගෙන යන්න පටන් ගන්න. එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙන්න ගන්නවා. එතකොට අපි කරගෙන යනකොට ඔයගලන්ට issues වෙනකොට තේරෙනවා ඇයි මේක මෙහෙම එන්නේ? ඇයි මෙහෙම exception එකක් එන්නේ? අර error එකක් එන්නේ ඇයි? ඒක තේරෙනවා. එතකොට Python කියන දේ හොඳයි කිව්වේ අන්න ඒ හින්දා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට the fun fact about Python is that Python is one of the top 3 most in demand programming languages in job market by 2025. මේ අවුරුද්ද වෙනකොට වැඩිම demand එකක් තියෙන job market එකේ වැඩිම demand එකක් තියෙන programming language එකක් විදියට Python තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකත් හිතේ තියාගෙන let's go to the next one. Real world applications of Python. So this is what basically I was talking before. So we can use, I told you that there are different frameworks. For web frameworks are there for developments of Python. So web development, there are frameworks like Django, Flask, and Fast API. For Fast API is basically used for building APIs. So I think you all have an idea about what API is. So there is Fast API. So Django is used basically for the backend development, and Flask is also used for development of APIs and backend handling of Python. Basically, you can develop the front end in React or basically like HTML or JavaScript, but the backend can be done by Flask or Django. So also there's data science and analytics. There are libraries. I think if there are any students, most of you have worked with pandas or NumPy if you have worked with data analytics. So data science like machine learning. If you have studied with machine learning, these libraries we use. So the pandas, NumPy, and Matplotlib. And Python is used in machine learning and AI. There are things like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and scikit-learn, and automations and scripting. Also, we use Python in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. So for the development of penetration testing tools and those things, we can use Python, and even for game development, not only Unity, we can use Python as well. Also, for IoT, robotics, and mobile application development, we can use Python as well. So the career opportunities, what I was talking before, there are very popular job roles like Python developer, data scientist, AI/ML engineer, software engineer. That is why I said that software engineer is specified for different languages. If you have learned Java, you can go for software engineer in Java. If you have learned Python, you can go for software engineer in Python. Also, there's web developer, cybersecurity analyst, automation engineer, DevOps engineer. And as I mentioned before, it is among the top 3 most in-demand programming languages by today. Within this course, we are trying to cover these 2 modules, like we are trying to cover Python fundamentals and the advanced Python. If we can cover the Python fundamentals within first month, I think like we can easily go for advanced Python without any issue. Like, but to cover the Python fundamentals very fast, I think I need you guys' help, and I think it's better if you can code in the same time as me. Like if I write something in the code or VS Code or any IDE, if you can code in the same time and get an idea what we are doing, so that will be very easy for us to go to advanced Python there. If we talk about what we are planning to do in the Python fundamentals, as any language we have learned before, like C or Java or any language, there will be introduction part, and this part I will be doing today, setting up Python and IDE. So we will be learning about operators and expressions, like there are logical expressions, math expressions, and relational operators, and the data types and variables. These are very basic things and easy to learn, so there's no need to worry. And we will be learning about control flow, like loops and the other conditional statements, and also functions and double OP. So double OP concepts are also in Python. So we will be learning about these things as well. And within the module 2, advanced Python, we will be talking about modules and libraries. And I think we will get a chance to work with data sets like in machine learning. So we will be learning about these things and about the file handling, how to write to CSV or JSON file and read from those things. And API development as well. We will be covering the very basic part of Flask and Fast API for development of APIs. I'll be teaching those things as well. And I think we will have enough time to cover GUI development and automation. We will try to cover these things as possible as well. This will be our course content. එතකොට අපි කරන්නේ course එකේ කරන්න හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ අර හැම language එකෙම fundamental part එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒ විදිහට අපි introduction part එක තමයි අද මේ කරන්නේ. ඒකෙදී අපි Python ඔයගොල්ලෝ install කරගන්න විදිහයි ID එක select කරන විදිහයි ගැන කියනවා. එතකොට operators expressions ඒවා maths expressions අර අනිත් language වල තියෙන එකම තමයි syntax එකම විතරයි පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. relational operators ඒවා ගැන ලියන විදිහ චූටි වෙනසක් තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි එතන කියලා දෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ data types variables අපි මොනවාද මේ කියන්නේ කියන එක ගැන කියලා දෙනවා. control flow එක කියලා දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ functions මොනවාද, double OP concepts මොනවාද, අර Java වල වගේම තමයි වෙන language වල වගේම තමයි classes objects inheritance කියන කතා මේකෙත් තියෙනවා. අර ඒ වගේ concepts අපි කතා කරනවා. advanced Python තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් use කරන්නේ web development වලදී වගේ තමයි ගොඩක්ම use වෙන්නේ. මේ libraries එහෙම file handling API ඒවා යන්නේ ලොකු project එකක් යනකොට use වෙන දේවල්. අපි අර ඒකේ අපි වෙන්නේ මොනවාද කියන එක basics ඉඳන් කොහොමද මේවා develop කරන්නේ, API develop කරන්නේ කොහොමද, Flask වලින් කොහොමද API endpoint එකක් ලියන්නේ. එතකොට ඔයා කොහොමද text file එකකට දෙයක් ලියන්නේ file handling වලදී, text file එක read කරන්නේ කොහොමද, JSON එකක් කොහොමද හදන්නේ ලියන්නේ. ඒක එතකොට ඒවා ටික අපි cover කරන්න try කරනවා. මුල ටික කරගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට GUI development and automation scripting මේ part එක ටිකක් කල් යනවා. අර ලොකු knowledge එකක් දෙන්න මං හිතන්නේ චූටි කාලෙකින් අපිට පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා. අපි පුළුවන් තරම් ඒ දෙක cover කරමු. GUI development කියන එකයි automation කියන එකයි ඒවා එහෙම වුණොත් theory නැතුව අපිට project එකකින් වගේ theory එකක් cover කරගෙන කරන්න පුළුවන් පොඩි project වලින්. එහෙම කරන්න try කරනවා මේ module දෙක. එතකොට fundamentals ටික දැනගන්නවා කියන්නේ ඔයාලට advanced Python කියන එක එහෙම අමාරු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කිසිම එකක් අමාරු නැහැ. අර තමන් තනියෙන් try කරගෙන ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් කියන එක understanding එකක් තියෙනවා නම් මොනවද මේ concepts කියලා. ඔයාලට advanced Python කිසිම විදිහකට අමාරු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකුත්ම තේරෙන්නේ නැති කෙනෙක්ට උනත් අර modules libraries වැඩ කරන විදිහ තේරෙනවා. අපි real world example එක ඒ ටික cover කරමු. එතකොට course overview එක ඔක තමයි අපේ syllabus එක. දැන් plan කරලා තියෙන syllabus එක තමයි මේක. එතකොට system requirements. So whether you are working in Windows or Mac or Linux, actually I'm doing in Windows, so I have not enough knowledge about Mac or Linux actually. And the version I'm using is Python 3.11. That is what I recommend you to do. Or if you have not installed it yet, you can install it later. But I think it is better if you can use a version higher than 3.9 and don't go for 3.11. That is the latest version, but I think it's better if you stick to 3.11 or 3.10 because 3.11 or yes 3.11 or 3.10. Don't go for 3.9 and 3.12 because like the stability wise 3.12 might not yet be fully supported by all tools because it is still in testing stage, so that might not yet be fully supported, and that will not be easy to work with them. And 3.11 is faster, and it is actually it is 25% faster than 3.10. That is why I am recommending 3.11. It is better if you can install 3.11 version. If you have not installed yet, don't go for the previous versions like 3.8. 3.9 is also okay, but don't go for 3.8. You might see that like 3.8 might not have the newest features. So it will be hard working when we are working with libraries and things. So that is why I'm asking you to install 3.11. So about the IDEs, there are several IDEs actually. Like that is IDEs where we actually write Python code. So that is why we need an IDE, simply said, code editor. So there are many options available, and those are VS Code, Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, Google Colab. But actually, I recommend you to use VS Code. There's something called IDLE. If I show you this, if you have already installed Python, you can once search, you can see the IDLE. This comes with Python. This is the default IDE for Python. So you can use it here as well. But this IDE is very simple and very lightweight and comes with Python. But this is only good for the basic features. But you can't work for large projects with this IDE. It is very hard. You just have to type here and you can see the result, but don't go for this one because it is really hard when you are working with something large. So don't go for IDLE. And the thing what I'm recommending is VS Code, because I'm recommending it because it is very customizable. So there's the support for extensions for Python, and also if you are working in a repository in Git, there are extensions you can use, Git and Docker. So that is why my personal recommendation, you can use VS Code like this. This is VS Code, and you can just, if there's any extension you need to install, you just have to install it here. That is why I'm asking you to use this one, VS Code. And if not, you can, if you just don't need to install anything and just want to start right away, like Google Colab is a good one. Like you can go for Google Colab as well. You just have to search Google Colab in your browser, and there is this one. But you have to log in with your Google credentials, and this ID comes up. Like this is a cloud ID. So if you write something here and run it using this one, let me show you an example. If you need something like this, print hello, and you just run it, and the answer will be here. If you So this is the issue with Google Colab. Your network has to be very stable. If not, the result will be delayed. So if not, you can just see the output here. Same happens in the IDLE as well, but I ask you not to use it, but just you can use it here as well. You just have to type enter and output will be there. The different thing in VS Code is you just have to print it and write the code, whatever the thing you need to see the output of, you have to write it and save the file. Make sure to save the file, and if you are running it in the internal CMD, just you can give this command Python and then the file name first .py, then click enter. You can run the code. If not, you can use the CMD in your computer and then go to the file where your programming code is saved, like this CD. You have to change the directory. Now you are inside your directory and just give this command Python file name, then enter. You can see your output here as well. So these are the options, and I recommend you to use VS Code. And also there's Jupyter Notebook, another option called Jupyter Notebook is there as well. You can use it, but it is good for Python, but it is best for data analysis and interactive coding. So it is not an ideal IDE for general software development. So if you are going for general software development, let's stick with VS Code. So this and Jupyter Notebook is really good if you are working with data, and for general use like software development, AI development, for those things I recommend you to use VS Code. And about the download and installation of Python, I will just show you the steps to how to download this and install Python. Just go to the website. Like I will provide you the presentation so you can just get the link, or if not, just search in the browser and you can directly go to this page. There are all the versions here. Just select one you need, and I recommend you 3.11, this one. You just have to download it, and once downloaded, you can run it. You will get something like .txt file. Just open it, and like I'm getting this uninstall because I have already got it. You just have to install it, and when installing, make sure to check the box. There's something called like add to path. You just have to make sure to check that box and then install. After installing, you go to the terminal, then type this one. You have to check if it is correctly installed. That is why we are using this. You have to type version Python version. If your Python version is correctly installed, you can see a version number just like this. If you are getting an error, that means whether you are having any problem with setting the path, or there might be any network issue or something, any error. So just make sure to check that add to path box. Make sure to check that one, and that will be easy to start once you have installed Python. So these things are the things I wanted to tell you before we are starting tomorrow's session. And is there any question? Like, is anyone having any doubt? I would like to give you a chance to ask any questions. If you have any questions, you can just ask it by turn on your mic or just put in the chat. Any questions? Okay, I think there is no question from you guys. This will be the end of the today's introductory session. Okay. Now we going to wrap up the session, or like seems like there's no question, right? Okay, there's a question from Shaila. How long the course will be conducted? Okay. Since we are conducting the course three days in a week, I think this we can wrap up the full course within 2 months. 2 months will be enough, since we are doing 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So there's 3 days a week and 2 hours per day maximum. So it will be easy to finish all by 2 months. Shaila, did you got the answer? Okay. Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. If not, I think we can meet tomorrow by 7 p.m. and make sure to download and install Python, and stick to Python version 3.11, or 10 is also okay, but 3.11 is faster. So stick with that one, or your preference is also okay. Anything. And make sure to go for VS Code, and if not, Google Colab is also good, but but I recommend you to use VS Code. So if there's no any question, let's meet again tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Harsha here. Is it the link is a recurrent link, or will you send another link tomorrow?
No, there will be another link tomorrow.
Right. Okay. We will get the link day by day.
Yeah. There will be
Right.
separate ones.
Right. Okay. And the other thing, actually, I'm not a tech savvy guy. Like I'm kind of, but I still like to learn this language. Will there be a problem that if I don't have any background, like in IT?
No. There's no need to worry about that. We will be starting from step 1, so there will be no issue.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If not, let's see on tomorrow then. Cheers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Stay bye.
Okay. Did someone tell anything? I heard another one talk.